What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live podcast. Don't wait to be great. And I am your host, Mr. Derek Forston, and I'm super excited. Today is Monday, August 5th, and it's a great day to be alive. So, again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you're in the right place. If you've ever wondered how to start your own housing program, but just simply didn't know where to start, you're also in the right place. Again, my name is Derek Forston, guys. I'm the owner and operator of Second Chance Housing. That's my personal independent living facility where we take people from homeless to hopeful. We're also the founder and thought leader of Forston Consultants, and that's where my family and I, we go all over the world showing people this ILF concept in terms of what it is, how to get involved in it, and more importantly, again, how can you get involved in it, right? We're already in it, and God has blessed us to be able to kind of show you guys, right? And that's the whole reason why I'm here. So again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, but you never know how to put it together, that's kind of what we do, right? So again, we have this thing that's called independent living facilities. Most of us have heard of group homes. Most of us have heard of an ALF, right? An assisted living facility. This is the exact opposite, right? This is an ILF. And this is an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. But tonight we're going to be talking about like the business side of it, right? That this is the best real estate investment, right? Today, I truly believe that the shared housing model, guys, is one of the best ways to invest into real estate, simply because of the way that things are going, right? Things are super expensive. So that kind of opens up opportunity on both sides, right? It gives you an opportunity to help a lot of people, right? But this model also gives you an opportunity to make some money, right? Because I'm not asking you guys to do this as a shelter, right? We want you guys to be able to make some money. And as we call the ILF model is the right now model. So this is ministry, even though it's a business, even though it involves real estate. Not Derek, but the Bible says the poor and needy will always be among us. So guys, don't get it twisted. This is an absolute ministry. And again, I often tell people or ask this question, can you imagine doing God's will, helping people and actually being paid for it? That's kind of like what this is, y'all. So again, a lot of people have heard of group homes and things of that nature, but the ILF model, guys, you don't need a license. You don't have to own the property. And again, tonight we're going to be talking about why in the world is this one of the best real estate models ever, right? So we're going to be doing some comparing and some contrasting in terms of the regular rental model where you just rent to a mom, dad, and 3 kids and her husband, right? Because I got rental properties too, just like that. We're going to talk about what's the difference in that, though, in terms of this ILF model. How with this model, like I have a lot of rentals on this side in terms of meaning I don't own these places. But these rental properties that me and my wife own that has mom, dad, and 3 kids in it, guys, we own those, and that's one set of income. So we're going to talk about both of those models. But before we get too far, I just want to give, again, a big shout out to a lot of people, man, that's been contacting us that you guys are getting your first house, your second house, or your third house. So I want to just give a shout out to each and every one of you. And there's a couple of you guys, and if I miss any names, forgive me, but I think Katara just did a deposit on the house in South Carolina. A cleaner in Orlando, Florida, just got her 4-bed, 2-bath. Miss Pierre down in Lee Acres, Florida, just got a 7-bedroom home. Who else? Nicole over there in New York just got her 4-bed home. So again, you guys are moving at the speed of instruction, and you guys are doing truly what God has called you to do. And I'm just so excited that God partnered us with you to be able to make all your dreams come true. So again, welcome everybody. If you're new to us, let me know, because I want to make sure that we dress all of the new people. You can tell me in 2 ways, right? You can just type it in the chat below, but I really want you to type it and text it to 407-326-0086. And again, you just text the word new. That's all, NEW, right? To 407-326-0086. We're going to give you an absolute free gift just to say thank you for being here. And also, right, and I'm going to scroll that below here. And also, again, it's just to say thank you for being here. And it's coaching. It's more teaching and training. It's a whole course that I give you on me. Again, just to say thank you, to further explain what is this ILF model. But if you're super new to us, your first starting point is actually watching the webinar, our introductory webinar, because it'll answer most questions that you really want to ask me, right? Then it gives you a free discovery call. That's the reason why I want people to watch the webinar first. That way you don't waste your time asking me stuff that I'll talk about now tonight, or things that are already on my YouTube channel. So your job is to watch that webinar, gain as much as knowledge and understanding as you can from that, and then let's get on the call and talk about how can we get you started. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and admit, I'm gonna try to only be here for an hour tonight. I want to meet with the ILF Academy. And again, if you don't know what that is, that's an absolute free Facebook group. So if you're not a part of the ILF Academy, I'm gonna spoil them tonight, and you need to be a part of it. So if you can multitask and you can just join the ILF Academy really quick, I'm going to end tonight in probably about 58 minutes from now. I'm going to drop a lot of game tonight, but I want to drop some information to my ILF Academy. That's that special group to us. We just kind of developed that, not even probably 60 days ago. So it's really new. It's under 300 people in it. If you're not in the ILF Academy, that's a free Facebook group. I want you to go and do that like right now if you can, without leaving here. Because again, my job is to teach y'all tonight, how in the world do we do this thing called an ILF? How can I do this and not need a license? How can I do this, Derek, and rent the property or lease it and don't have to own it? So again, if you don't know my original story, guys, and it's inside of that webinar, God just blessed me a long time ago, man, to where he showed me a lady that was making $41,000 a month doing this. Literally, what I'm going to show y'all, she would take a house just like this and put people in it. Now, I'll admit, the way she did it, y'all, she would take a house like this and put 16 people in it. We ain't doing that. Mr. Charles, that is absolutely not what we do, right? So we take a 3-bed, 2-bath home just like this, and it's for us, it's called a shared living environment. And again, back to the topic, why is this one of the best real estate strategies? Because like some people are calling this today, real estate on steroids. Guys, can you imagine taking one asset? That's this one house that you don't even have to own. Guys, I was a poor social worker making 28 grand a year. How in the world can I buy a house? But as soon as God let me see that lady that was making 41 grand a month, she was like, Derek, I don't own these places. I was like, huh? Here I am thinking you got to own the place. You got to have a license. You got to have a sprinkler system. The devil is a liar. In fact, put a number 3 in the chat. If you thought to run something similarly to what we're talking about tonight, that you had to have a license, own the property, take classes, get a sprinkler system that's $30,000, put a 3 in the chat. Or am I the only one that thought that if I want to house people, I had to own the place, I had to have a license from my city, from my state? Guys, none of that's true. Korshonda, when I found that out, it was like ding, 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 ding. And the lady that showed me, y'all, and I ain't gonna even give her credit. Katara, I'm gonna give God credit. God allowed me to see that lady, man. And when I asked and begged and pleaded, she said, Derek, I'll never teach you how to do this. But look at what I make doing it. Korshonda, I couldn't believe it. She was like, I was like, wow, she just told me she's not gonna tell me how to do this business. Because y'all, if you don't know my story, I was a social worker. I was a social worker for 9 years, y'all. Dummy me, I'm working at the job of the thing I wanted to do my whole life, which was housing people and get involved in real estate. This lady showed me that, y'all, she was making $41,000 a month. I nearly fainted, Mr. Peterson. I almost fainted when I saw that, because remember, I'm making $28,000 a year. And if you can do the math on that after taxes, that's a little around about $900 every 2 weeks. Boy, it's hard to make a living like that, y'all. This lady was making 41 grand a month. But you know the difference in her and me? Y'all, you know the difference in that lady and a bunch of us in this room? She was housing these people in rats and roaches. And that's the part that'll break your heart, that when it really get down to what this is and what I saw a lady, y'all, making $41,000 a month housing people in rats, in roaches, in filth, and in squalor. Ladies and gentlemen, that's one thing that we're not going to do, because as soon as I saw this, I started talking to God immediately. Because, y'all, she showed me the 41 grand in her Chase Bank app before she ever let me come to her places. Because truth be told, y'all, I snuck into every one of her facilities because nobody would show this to me. Nobody wanted to show me how to get started, Mr. Charles. So guess what I did, Miss Mary? I took a Saturday and I went and saw these places for myself. Because, y'all, as that social worker sitting behind the desk with my shirt and tie, it's hard to learn this game when everybody asking, telling you no. All this started, y'all, from me being the social worker. And guys, I'm real quick to tell people, man, I am not the smartest guy in the classroom. I am not the smartest crayon in the box, as they would say, or the sharpest pencil. But when God blow on something and go, he make this thing look like a genius built it. And guys, really all this is, to be honest with y'all, man, is social services and the love of God and real estate all mixed together. Miss Tia, that's all this is really. I've never been the smartest guy in the classroom. My wife tricked me to go to college. And through the grace of God, I finished that and got this human services degree / social work and landed this job, making 28 grand a year, discharging people to the street, most of them, because there was nowhere to send them other than this house that I'm telling y'all about. The same house I told y'all the lady was making 41 grand a month. This is what it looked like. Some of the kitchen was burnt up, people living in it, sleeping in it. Guys, this ain't Photoshop stuff. The only thing that's Photoshopped is that's pictured down at the bottom. Because I'm going to get to a story that's going to also break your heart and what took the cake for me. That picture at the bottom represents a lady that I saw and that I referred as a social worker, y'all, and it broke my heart when I found out. Because, guys, if you remember what I just told you 3 minutes ago, guys, I never saw the inside of an ALF, an ILF, or a group home. I was just a social worker, y'all, sitting behind a desk. You don't remember that picture I just showed you in my shirt and tie? This is all I knew in the four corners at that job, y'all. But when God put the vision in my heart, Derek, you should be the guy on the other side of the fence. Derek, why not you? Can 3 of y'all type in the chat, why not me? But this is the condition that I saw. Can you imagine somebody's bed being on cinder blocks? Now, if you ain't got your glasses on tonight and you can't tell what's holding that one bed up, y'all, that's cinder blocks. The devil is a liar. And I also tell people that if this don't break your heart, you in the wrong room. There's a lot of places that you can be on YouTube and Clubhouse and Instagram and Facebook, because we stream on a lot of channels at one time. But to see somebody bed on the floor, when this lady making $41,000 a month, now don't forget, Charles, because Charles, you're going to forget that I just told you 3 minutes ago the lady was making 41 grand a month. Why would you house people like this? Got the guy fans sitting on banana boxes. I'm going to explain this room for anybody that's never walked through it, because I know you haven't, and that maybe you ain't got your glasses on tonight. Guys, when I say no sheets, no pillow, no comforter, no pillowcase, guys, I saw people beds that were on the ground. Are you kidding me? This is not what we do, ladies and gentlemen. Especially not making $41,000 a month. Now, I always ask this question, but for my new people, if you made $41,000 every 28 to 30 days, would that change your life a little bit? Can I just get 3 of y'all to type the word yes? Because if that, now again, if that number insults you and that's a small number, then forgive me for my ignorance. But making $28,000 a year, and I watch somebody living my dream making 41 grand a month, housing people in squalor, rats and roaches, needles all on the ground, insulin needles, medication all over the place, rats and roaches running in and out of the closet. Man, the devil is a liar. Guys, we can't do that. So again, in this independent living facility model, as soon as I found out that I didn't have to own the property, because that's one thing that I always give that lady credit for, y'all. She wouldn't share it with me how to do this. She wouldn't open the rule book and say, Derek, this is how you do it. Derek, this is how I got started. There was no YouTube channel. There was no Derek or no big mouth guy from Orlando, Florida running his mouth about how to do this. But boy, lucky for y'all, I promised God many years ago, I said, God, if you let me get into this, and God, if you let me leave my job, I promise I'll go all over the world, God, teaching it. And I said, God, I'll take no credit. I'll tell people that it's because of you. In fact, my daily prayer, if you don't know me, now my people that's been around me a long time, guys, I pray every day, God, I decrease so that you can increase in me. God, allow me to use real estate and social service and mash them together to help these people that are homeless that need somewhere to live. And the beautiful part about what we do, now, even though a lot of people need help, guys, we're housing the individual that don't need me to give him medications. He don't need me to drive him around to his doctor's appointments. Guys, I'm housing independent adults that can live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. That's the whole definition, guys, to the ILF game. So again, if you came in this room just a little late, we're talking about the ILF model. The housing model where I don't need no license or permission from my state, and we're not housing people in unsafe unsafe conditions, improper accommodations, and unsanitary stuff. Not doing that. So when I first saw this, I said, God, I want to get in this. And y'all, it took me 2 years and I lost 60 pounds trying to get this thing right because there was no teacher. I made the Channel 8 News, $40,000 lawsuit. Y'all, I messed this thing up every way that you can imagine because nobody would teach me. So as they say, I got it from the mud. Some people think that's cool. I don't think it's cool to get it from the mud all the time if you don't have to. And that's why most of y'all are here. I don't want y'all to get it from the mud. Them days are over with. So that's why you got me. Lucky for you, we here every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday, absolutely for free. Because I say, God, if you change my life with this. And I joking to tell people, who am I to tell God if you change my life? But God, I'll admit, I say, God, if you change my life with this model and you let me get in it, God, this girl just showed me she was making 41 grand a month housing people in rats and roaches. God, I wouldn't do it like that. And God, the lady won't even teach me. I said, so God, first of all, if you let me get in it, I'll teach it to other people. And God, I'll never take any credit. So watch me do this in front of y'all again. Because I keep my promise to God. I'm going to teach it. And I'm going to tell y'all that I am no genius. God is in control of all of this. And again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you're in the right place. We just show you how to mesh it all together where you don't need a license and you don't need permission from your state. Because again, an independent living facility model means independent. Meaning they can cook their own bologna sandwich. I'm not cooking for my clients, guys. They can provide their own transportation through Uber, the local bus system, their homeboy, their homegirl, their uncle, their dad, but not Derek. I don't provide transportation, and neither do you all once I teach it to you. And this is what one looks like. Most of the people that we serve are going to fit this 2 per room model. We got private rooms, we have suites and all of that. And again, back to tonight's title, why is this the best real estate strategy? Because again, guys, I just told y'all, 8 minutes ago that I own regular real estate too. But guys, that's a mom, dad, and 3 kids. Guess what happened if dad gets laid off? Guess what happened if mom catches COVID and gets sick and can't go to work for 3 weeks? They don't get paid. Guys, I house a population of people, and so do you now because you met me, that get guaranteed income and nothing stops it. It's called SSI or SSDI. And I still house a lot of guys that got a job at McDonald's, Walmart, Outback Steakhouse, the local post office, substitute school teachers, the local jail guy that is the prison guard. I house all kind of people like that. The part-time police officer. So now when I first started this many years ago, I only housed the mental health population. Because again, that's where I worked at. But now because the economy is so bad, ladies and gentlemen, people need a place to live, and it's expensive no matter where you live at. So now I'm housing what I would call the everyday Joe. The guy that has no mental health and no physical health. He just can't afford his own apartment. He can't afford his own house. So this environment right here is like, Derek, wow. For only $740, Derek, I can live in this room right here. And Derek, you take care of the lights, the water, the cable, and the Wi-Fi, and the security system, Derek. Absolutely. We're a one-stop shop. And again, on the real estate side of it, because 90% of the time when I'm on this live and I'm teaching, I'm talking about the impact that you're going to make in your community. Them other 3 to 5%, I'm going to talk about how is this the most powerfulest play when it comes to real estate and changing your family's trajectory of generational wealth. Guys, this is almost like multifamily units. I take a regular 4-bed, 2-bath home, and I could take 8 people from homeless to hopeful. And just for the easy math of it, guys, what's 700 times 8 people in this 4-bed, 2-bath home? So again, guys, this ain't rocket science. I'm going to break this down one more time real quick before we take a commercial break, and I want y'all to ask me a ton of questions. And don't forget, I'm going to be here for about an hour tonight, but I do want to also pour into my ILF Academy. It's a free Facebook group. I want to pour into you guys for about 30 minutes about something. I want to bless y'all with something that's crazy. So if you haven't joined the free ILF Academy, make sure you do that before we end this room, because I'm specifically going to leave this room probably 50 minutes prior to than I normally would, because I want to pour into my close-knitted group, that ILF Academy. It's called the ILF Academy. It's free. Join it. It's on Facebook. And I'm going to pour into you guys tonight as well. But again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is the cheat code, guys. This is the right now model. No license, no permission from my state, no permission from my governor, none of that stuff. Because we're housing independent adults They can cook their own bologna sandwich, provide their own transportation, and take their own medications. Those are the three things that get most people in trouble when they're trying to do this and don't try to get a license. Guys, if you're feeding people, need a license. You handing out medication, need a license. You driving people around to their doctor's appointments, need a license. I'm housing a guy that said, Derek, I don't need you to drive me nowhere, bro. Derek, I don't need you to give me my medications, Derek. And Derek, I can cook my own steak sandwich, bro. And Derek, I don't cook on the stove anyway. I use all microwave. I'm a TV dinner guy, Derek. Guys, what he need me for then? My job is to provide a safe, clean living environment. 3 of y'all put a number 7 in the chat if any of that makes sense. Because again, if you've ever thought that you needed a license, you've been tricked about people just trying to act like they know this and they don't. Guys, I teach it and I do it. Let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Again, thank y'all so much for being here. I super appreciate it. And I hope you guys are enjoying this information. And if you are, share this to somebody, again, that loves God, loves people, and loves real estate and want to know how to merge all of that together. So also share this to your personal page because, again, remember, guys, if 50 of us in this room got 50 houses, it still wouldn't be enough. Because, again, I don't care where you live at, guys. Homelessness is a big problem. And through these independent living facilities, guys, this is how we're going to be able to change the trajectory of not even just your city, but your life. I'm talking about tonight's topic is how can you be the real estate investor and again, turn this one property into what we would almost consider a multifamily. Because again, I always give the example, guys, I have property that I rent to a mom, dad, and 3 kids. Guys, that's one income. My property in Georgia, guys, I think if I'm not mistaken, that property is getting like $1,400 a month. In Warner Robins, Georgia. That's a 3-bed, 2-bath home. Guys, I take that same 3-bed, 2-bath home and now do $700 per bed. Look at the math on that now. And even if I did private rooms where I didn't do the double up and do 2 people, what if I did that 1 bed? What if I did 1 bed per room? Never mind this picture that you see now. That's another conversation. What about if I make them all private rooms? And now I'm talking about 777. That's $2,100. Guys, that's $700 more. And guess what? The other reason why I think that this is the best real estate play is because of the impact that you're making in your community. Guys, I'm going to tell y'all a short joke, and I say this all the time. When I first grew up, a lot of my people and my parents, and well, not my parents so much, my aunts and my uncles and people around us used to say, that boy Derek, he going to be a preacher. That boy going to be a preacher. He going to be a preacher. Y'all ain't going to be no preacher. But guess what? This is the closest thing, guys, to where you can start your own ministry and you never need a pulpit or a microphone. Guys, I have truly developed a ministry, and that's what this is. So don't get this twisted, y'all. When you start this, Katara, Tia, all of you in this room that already have these, yes, this looks like a business on the outside. Yes, you got to get an LLC and don't do this in your real name. But to the core of what this is, guys, this is ministry. And not because Derek said it. The Bible says the poor and needy will always be among us. The Bible also says that we're to take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. Guys, we just so happy to be doing it through real estate. How great is that? Right? So, again, we're not going to do this, right? We're going to show you guys, again, the model. Again, not going to do this. But again, we're going to show you guys and talk about how do you rent something like this. We call this rental arbitrage. When people say, Derek, well, what does it look like? Just a regular house. It can even be a mobile home. We get this question all the time. Don't get it twisted and don't worry about the trash out front. That was trash day. You see the for sale sign in that window? Somebody bought this unit to do this in. As long as it's not in a trailer park, if the unit sits on its own land or you got permission, no problem. But it can absolutely be done in a trailer park. Some of us get nice big homes like this. And again, guys, we're going to go and rent or lease this place to get started. You know, the biggest cheat code for me, Tanika, was when that girl, that lady, I don't want to be disrespectful. When that lady showed me that she was making $41,000 a month, but she was housing people in rats and roaches. The biggest cheat code she told me, Tanika, was she said, Derek, I don't own these places. She said, Derek, you thought I owned these houses? And guys, to this day, she has no clue that I've actually walked through every one of them. Because when she wouldn't teach it, and me as the social worker, everybody was using me as the honeypot, and I didn't even know it. How many of y'all have ever been the honeypot to something? Meaning that you was the golden goose, but you really didn't know it. And when you found out, you was like, oh my God, I'm the key to this whole thing. Why you think half of my teaching is about how do we get the clients? Guys, I was the social worker. I know what to listen for, look for, what y'all should be saying, asking me. That's why one of our first workshops that's coming up here in the second week of August, I think it's on the 13th, it's on a Tuesday. It's going to be surrounded by how do we do this in terms of how do we get these clients? Derek, you guys going to rent these houses? How in the world are you getting the house, Derek? What are you saying to these people to rent this big old house? Guys, this is a 7-bed, 4-bath home. You know how many people I can take from homeless to hopeful in a place like that? Lord have mercy. And this is what I'm talking about. So guys, the biggest cheat code to me was understanding that I didn't have to own the property to do this. Because as a poor social worker making 28 grand a year, I almost found it impossible to be able to buy a place. But boy, I can borrow enough money to come up with that first and last though. 2 of y'all put amen in the chat for that. Because again, guys, I always thought, even the girl that I'm telling y'all about that was making the 41 grand a month, housing people in rats and roaches, guys, I thought she owned them places. Walking in my hospital with her Gucci, her Fendi, her Prada, her red bottom shoes. But she was mistreating these people, y'all. I used to respect this lady so much until I found out that she was actually mistreating people, not being this hero in her community. So my simple prayer, because I tell people all the time, I pray to God, I say, God, I want to help people. I say, God, I want to be involved in real estate. Everybody I know that's doing well in life, God, they're involved in real estate. And God, you just showed me a lady that's making 41 grand a month mistreating your people. Y'all, I became a tattletale to that lady, to God. I say, God, you don't see what she's doing to your people? Housing people on the floor. Telling people either they sleep outside or they sleep in these rats and roaches and bed bugs. The devil is a liar. So again, that's why I keep repeating that phrase. If you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is a no-brainer. I often tell people also, imagine doing the will of God, helping people, being respected by your community, and watch this. Some people scared to say this, but make a bunch of money doing it. Guys, I want to make a bunch of money to be able to build the kingdom, because somewhere in that Bible, and again, remember, I'm no preacher, but I'm just living by what it say. It also says somewhere in that Bible that if you do it unto the least of thee, that means the population that we serve. God said it's like he's doing it unto me. Miss Tia, can you imagine doing God a favor? Simonia, can you imagine doing God a favor? And God like, man, Simonia, thank you. Simonia, before the earth even began, I knew this guy named Thomas Jones was going to need your help. When he turned 6 to 8 years old, he was going to be a military veteran, and somewhere in life, he was going to get sick. He was going to lose his job, and he was going to end up in the hospital, Simonia. Simonia, I'm going to put you in position in 2024, in the month of August, to house this guy. I tell y'all all the time, man, don't procrastinate, because somebody's blessing is tied to you. Does that make sense? God has already ordained certain people to already be living in your place. You just got to get started. And I tell everybody, I posted it today. Guys, procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. Now, don't tell on yourself, but raise your hand today, whether you in it or not. And that means all of my people that are in this room that are already in it. But raise your hand today if God told you to do this. Meaning God put it on your heart to be involved in real estate and help people at the same time. Raise your hand or put a number 1 in the chat. Or am I by myself in this? But Simonia, there's people that God has already put on this earth. Tanika, same with you. There's people already that is destined to live in your place. You just got to get started. And how dare you procrastinate with something that God has already put in your heart? And that's why our coaching is so unbelievable. And that's why we put so much into it. We give you the software system. We give you the virtual assistant. We give you all of the documents. And in the last, 2 months, we've allowed people to split it in half in terms of the cost. So forget the 15 grand, that original cost. Forget the 7,500 at the scholarship cost, which is a no-brainer. How about 3,750? We've been allowing that just to help people with that. You see all the ones in the chat? God has already called y'all to do this. It didn't take me to come here and tell y'all, you need to be housing people. God already told you. But God is genius enough how he merged us together. God knew one day you was going to meet me. Saying, Lord have mercy, where's this guy been all my life? I've been trying to do this my whole life. You know how many people I coach that say, boy, I've been trying to do this for the last 3 years, Derek, 5 years, Derek, my whole life. And I found you on a YouTube channel. I found you scrolling through TikTok. God bless you, sir. God bless you, ma'am. Tanika just said it, right? Yes, had this vision for 10 years and can't believe how people was doing this. Tanika blew my mind too. Have you ever seen somebody living your dream, but they was doing it the wrong way? Now, don't put your hand up. Don't put no number in the chat. We all gonna just swallow that one. I'm y'all family now, so I ain't gonna put y'all out. But listen to me closely. Have you ever seen somebody living your dream? You say, wow, God, if you gave that to me, man, I wouldn't do it like that. Some people call that hating. Some people call that, well, Derek, man, you shouldn't. No. I'm just being honest, guys. This lady was living my dream. And I got a whole sermon about don't get into this just for the money. But trust me, y'all, I was making 28 grand a year. Y'all, I was poor. So yes, I wanted money. Yes, I wanted to change my life. Yes, I wanted to become rich. But you know what I found out the cheat code is the life? That is when you put other things before you, when you build something that's bigger than you, when you build something that outlasts you, when you build something that's according to God's will and purpose and plan, God, that's a great business to start. Me and my wife own 8 different businesses, guys, and every one of them is catered to helping people. That's the cheat code to life. Nothing wrong with your bakery. Nothing wrong with your t-shirt shop, because I got one of them too. But can you imagine starting a business that directly in the Bible, God is telling you that, man, God, Derek, it's going to be some poor people in this world, dog, and they're going to mess up in life, Derek. But boy, they're going to need your help, Derek. And a lot of them got a guaranteed income, Derek. Because I'm not asking none of y'all to house the guy that say, hey, Miss Simonia, man, I saw your TikTok posting. Simonia, boy, I really need a place to live. But Simonia, I don't have a job. And Simonia, I don't get that SSI check that I heard y'all talking about. Simonia, much as that break my heart, that's not the guy we housing. Now, what we are going to do, Simonia, is give him resources. Charmaine, you thought we were just going to hang up on that guy? No. Mr. Charles, you thought I was just going to say, hey, man, can I help you? Click. Even the virtual assistants that we give y'all in our coaching package, they're trained to give resources. So when the pregnant lady with 3 kids calls Second Chance Housing Phone, Jess says this, ma'am, I'm so sorry, but the ILF model that we have currently doesn't support, women and children, but I got 3 resources that we want to give you. Number 1 is, number 2 is, and number 3 is, and here's the phone number and email address, and tell them that we sent you. So we still going to be of service, y'all. So see what I'm saying, guys? This is the other reason. Remember, I'm talking about the real estate investor this time. Why is this good for the real estate investor? Because again, guys, I'm housing multiple people in one asset that otherwise would be homeless on the street without me. Y'all, that's powerful. What a business to be in to where you're needed and you're living out God's will. That's powerful. Show me something that's better other than being a preacher and having a mega church. Show me something that's better than being a preacher that you say, dang, well, he ain't preaching, but that's a ministry. This is it. Doing God's will, but we're doing it through real estate. Some people going to try to feed folks. Some people going to clothe them. Guys, we believe in getting housing right first, because if we get housing right, everything else can fall in place, Mr. Charles. Miss Tina and family, you said it was about 15 of y'all in front of one TV right now. This is the impact that I'm talking about that you and your family can make right now. Not that ILF model that you guys had to call with. See, Miss Tina and her family had that strategy call, y'all. That's for free. All they had to do was watch my webinar. It's about 50 minutes long. I give the game away in it. Then I give you a free call to tell you how to get started. My coaching is for the people that say, Derek, man, I want you to hold my hand, bro, because I like this. You seem to have it. God seems to be all over this. And Derek, I want to be a part of this family y'all got going on. That's who our coaching is for. But because I promised God many years ago, I said, God, if you let me get in this and it changed my life, and again, trust me, who am I to say, God, if you? But guys, I did. I said, God, if you let me get in this and it changed my life, I'll go all over the world teaching it, and I'll never take any credit. And that's exactly what I do. We have conferences. I speak all over the place, usually 5-6 days a week, y'all. I'm somewhere running my big mouth about this model because it changed my life, y'all. I was able to quit that job because I said, God, that girl make 41 grand a month housing your people in rats and roaches. God, can you let me get in this and God just at least make what I'm making yearly? Can I make that at least? God, can I make my yearly salary monthly? How many of y'all would love to replace what you make yearly monthly? Because guys, it's possible doing this. Somebody type me in the chat. I said, God, you are no respecter of person. You love that lady just like you love me. But God, she mistreating your people. And God, first of all, if I get in it, I'll teach it to other people. You heard her tell me that, God, she'll never show me how to do this. That's why I snuck in her place. I said, God, forgive me for that too, because that was wrong. But God, I had to see it. God, that lady, I told y'all what, Saturday, I had no business walking throughout her facilities. Guys, I wasn't invited and I wasn't welcome, but I had to see where to start from. Because had that not happened, none of y'all would be in this room today. I had to see what the starting point was. Does that make sense, everybody? So what you see on screen now is just simply the shared living environment that what we've turned it into. No more the rats and the roaches and the filth and the squalor. And then for the guy that says, well, Derek, man, I don't want that shared room, bro. I'm 55 years old, Derek. Like, I'm grown, bro. Like, I don't want that. No problem. I got private rooms, too. I got shared rooms, private rooms. So in this one model, ladies and gentlemen, and again, back to the title, why is this a great investment to get into? Because now in my 4-bed, 2-bath home, I don't have to do 8 people. Because somebody thinking right now, well, Derek, that's a lot of people, dog. Mr. Derek, that's a lot of people, bro. Mr. Derek, that's a lot of people, sir. No problem. Guess what I like to do now in my 4-bed, 2-bath home? 2 of those rooms are private. So now it's 6 people. 2 rooms got 2 people. 2 rooms got 1 and 1. Somebody type in the chat, I like that. Because somebody's thinking, Derek, that's too many people. What about you that your overhead is low enough that you say, well, Derek, I don't want it like that either. I want 1 person per room. No problem. That's what me and Katara just talked about the other day, who's on her 2nd facility now. Almost 3rd, because she got offered 2 at the same time. Katara, remember me and you talked about that just 3 days ago? Instead of the 3, 2 being 6 people, let's do all suites now. Katara's under our coaching, so we're giving her different ideas to expand. And there's another big word that they call it, diversify. We're going to get some private rooms going now because everybody that call your phone don't want your shared room. Does that make sense, everybody? We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. If you guys are enjoying this, man, let me know. Also, share it with somebody that want to do this, right? I'm going to be right back. And don't forget, I'll be in here in about 20 minutes. I want to pour into the ILF Academy real quick. But don't forget, if you guys got questions, I'm going to be checking the chat. I'll answer every question that before we go. And for the big family that's here, I'm also, yes, I'm going to break down the coaching again in terms of what that looks like, what it costs now, and that new stimulus package that we have, because we understand times are tough. But let's take a break and we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forstonconsultants.com. Click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forstonconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show. All right. So thank y'all so much for being here. I super appreciate it. Again, you guys got a lot of choices of where you could be, but y'all chose to be here, and I super appreciate that. So I want to bring up something really quick, and I also want to go through the chat. So I'm gonna give y'all 10 seconds to look at this slide, and I'm gonna jump into it, and then I'm gonna use the next 7 seconds to look in the chat real quick to make sure I haven't missed anything. A lot of active in the chat. Thank y'all for being active. That really makes me feel good. You guys are active and you're liking the content. Love it, love it, love it. I love it. Thank y'all so much. Tanika, you're super active. Miss Tia, Charles. I spoke to Charles today. That last text, Charles, I think my team started that text, but the way our system is built, I actually finished that text. So those last, I think 1 or 2 was actually me. So Charles, I look forward to speaking to you as well. And let's look at one more thing. Good to see you, Miss Charmaine from Canton, Ohio. Miss Tanika, Miss Tia, Simone. Good to see everybody here. There's a lot of you all. My Instagram family, Clubhouse family, my Chatter family. I'm streaming at a lot of places right now. LinkedIn, YouTube. So I want to get back to this slide, right? Because again, tonight's topic is best real estate investment. Discover the ILF model. So again, remember what I told you guys about there's people that jokingly call this model real estate on steroids. Now, I'll admit I kind of like that term, but we don't use it, right? I'll admit we don't use that, right? So, but you can see why they call it that. So this is that 4-bed, 2-bath model where I'm able to take 8 people from homeless to hopeful. In fact, this is the 3-bed, 2-bath. I'm sorry, I'm moving a little fast. But can you see how fast this math adds up? So when people say, well, Derek, what can you make doing this? The Lindor family, you guys have got about 10 people in your living room right now on an 80-inch screen TV as you text in. This is the impact that your family can make right now. You guys get one property, and because you guys are going to do it together, we already talked about you guys renting or leasing the property. You don't have to buy this. You don't need the license, and you guys can start with an LLC. I'm not going to get super crazy into what entity to get, right? But don't do this in your regular personal name. That was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made, okay? So again, really slowly, because I'm letting y'all look at this and let that soak in really quickly. Think of the rental properties in your area right now. I'm going to slow this thing down. If you want to go to Zillow or Realtor.com, think about where you live at. What does a regular rental go for where you live at? Does $4,200 cover the rent, the lights and the water and the Wi-Fi? Because if it does, you got yourself a business. Because again, I gave y'all the example earlier about I have a 3-bed, 2-bath in Georgia, rented to a family, mom, dad, kids. That's one income. Mom loses the job, we're in trouble. Dad loses the job, we're in trouble. Because guess what they're gonna do? Guys, I'm a landlord. I know this game. They're gonna pay the lights, they're gonna pay the water bill, and they're gonna feed their kids and they're gonna feed their family. The last guy that's gonna get the money, guys, is the rent guy. Let's just say in this model that we're talking about right now, let's just say out of all of those beds, bedroom number 1, 700 and 700. Bedroom number 2, 700, 700. Bedroom number 3, 700, 700. Guys, that's a lot of money and a lot of impact. Don't forget about the impact. Remember, with us, it's impact and income. Without the impact, hard to make that income. And vice versa sometimes. But let's just say Tyrone and Raphael don't have their money this month. Or let's just say those beds are empty. Guys, can you still see how this works if one person doesn't pay? Guys, if one person don't pay at my regular rental property, I'm in trouble. Does that make sense, everybody? Again, tonight we're talking more about the real estate investing side of it versus the impact, which is we talk about 90% of the time. Tonight, I'm talking about how do you feed your family doing this? How can you quit your job doing this? Guys, I was making 28 grand a year, begging God to help people and be involved in real estate. God was just genius enough to say, Derek, open your eyes, dummy. You a social worker and you're discharging people every day to housing. Are you serious? I was like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of everything I ever prayed for. Miss Belinda, have you ever been asking God for something? He actually gave it to you. You didn't realize it. I'm begging God to impact the world through real estate. I'm begging God to help people. He used my wife to trick me to go to college and get a degree so I can help people through a social worker job. He showed me a lady making 41 grand a month housing people in rats and roaches to show me the real estate game. That's why I tell people, y'all, I'm no genius. I just went through so many bumps and bruises trying to get this thing right that there's nobody that can outcoach me in this shared housing model. That's a big statement. Some people will call that bragging, but guys, I've been on the Channel 8 News. I've been through lawsuits. I've done this wrong every way that you can imagine. That till today, we got this thing down to a science now. Because again, if you love God, love people, love real estate, if you have some patience, and watch this in this particular order, this is what makes us successful. Because this is another question from the Lindor family. Derek, what makes you guys so successful? Don't get this twisted. I just told you it ain't me. God first, virtual assistants next, software and systems, digitalflowsolutions.net, and the greatest assessment ever to make sure that we're getting the right people to fill these beds. Because the last thing that you want to do is get a house full of knuckleheads that you can't control. Here's this 4-bed, 2-bath model, and I'm going to give that to y'all one more time. What makes us super successful is God first, virtual assistants, software system and our tools that we use, meaning our website and our CRM system, the outreach to social workers and case managers, and the assessment to make sure that we're serving the right avatar. Does that make sense? Again, does that make sense? Give me 2 people to say, yes, that makes sense, Derek. Because now again, with this same model, I'm now able to take 8 people from homeless to hopeful. And now, as you can see, the numbers get bigger. But depending on where you live at, that could be 800 a bed, 900 a bed. You live in Macon, Georgia, that may be 450 a bed. So depending on where you live at, guys, is what's going to determine what you make. But guys, it's hard for you to tell me, unless you're in New York, New Jersey, California, Oregon, let me think of another one, Boston. If you're not in one of those places, you can't tell me a lot of places where you can't go get a 4-bed, 2-bath and charge this and make some money and help some people. I dare you to tell me that you can't do that if you're not in one of these states that I just named. And big shout out to Nicole in New York, just got a 4-bedroom house. So it can still be done. Big shout out to Janine that's got a 4-unit building that's now using one of those units for a military veteran. It can absolutely be done. So it's just that I personally don't like New York. I don't like Jersey. But you can't show me a lot of places where these numbers don't make sense. And that's why, again, a lot of people call this what we do, guys, real estate on steroids. So again, the first step to all of this is the directions that are scrolling below that says text the phrase more info, just MOREINFO to that phone number 407-326-0086. That gives you our introductory webinar. I'm talking to y'all and just giving game tonight like y'all family already. But that webinar is in a more structured way and breaks everything down chronologically. And then the best part of that, you don't have to pay me $400 an hour to talk to me to do it. Now that gives you that free discovery call. Outside of that, it's $400 an hour. I want to talk to you for free, right? So just watch the webinar. And let's get on the phone and let's talk about how can we get you started. And as you heard me say earlier, I'm going to be going live in our ILF Academy tonight. That's a free Facebook group. I just want to bless y'all for like 20 to 30 minutes. I want to drop a gem in there just for you guys specifically. So if you haven't joined it, do that now. And join tonight like you always been there, right? So it's called the ILF Academy. The ILF Academy is absolutely free. Join it tonight because I'm going to be going live there just to drop an extra gem. But again, back into why this is the best real estate play, because guys, I do both. I rent to a mom, dad, and 3 kids. That's one income. And I also do this model, which to me, my favorite model, guys, is that 4-bed, 2-bath home. Again, because I'm able to take either 8 people if I do 2 per room, or 6 people if I do 2 suites and then 2 rooms with 2 people. Or what if I make them all suites and do only just 4 people? And now I'm charging maybe $960, $980 per room. So guys, you can almost make almost the same amount of money, but the way that we teach it, less people, less problems. Does that make sense, everybody? Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Have you ever imagined starting your own housing program? That's probably why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction. We look forward to working with you. And again, this is only for people that desire our one-on-one coaching, which is designed to watch you succeed from going from a zero to a hero when it comes to information and knowing how to implement this independent living facility model without any mistakes. That's most important. So again, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, there's a scholarship that's available for it that'll slice the price in half, which is also a no-brainer. So again, if you've ever desired to start your own housing program, but you thought you needed a license, you don't. You thought you had to be a nurse, you don't. You thought you had to own the property, you don't. Consider our ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we are going to take you to success and let God use you in your community, housing the homeless and the displaced. Let's get back to the show. All right. So we're back. And again, thank y'all so much for being here. We're super excited as always. And don't forget, guys, we're here every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We literally give this game away all the time. Every room is recorded. Because, guys, remember, not just only because I'm a nice guy, because I made a promise to God. I said, God, if you change my life and let me leave my job to do this, God, I promise I'll go all over the world teaching it, and I'll never take any credit. So there's a lot of people that only just want this information, but there's a lot of people that want the coaching. Meaning, Derek, I want to be able to talk to you like this every day. Derek, I want to be a part of this ILF family, this ILF Mastery Blueprint that you guys are talking about. Okay. So again, if that's you, let us know. I'm going to be talking about really soon here in terms of that coaching and what that looks like. I do want to go over to the virtual assistants for 2 seconds. The Lindor family asked me, well, Derek, how are you utilizing these VAs to help you? Well, I'm glad you asked, because today I don't answer my telephone calls. I don't do the social media. I don't do the outreach in the community. I don't build the relationships. I'll admit all the things that I'm going to teach you and tell you to do. I'll admit I don't do that stuff anymore. But lucky for you, our coaching package comes with a virtual assistant inside of it. So I gift it to you complimentary. So I'm going to let you guys meet my team really quick. I'm going to breeze through this because I get caught up on this sometime. I don't want to spend a lot of time here. Tuesdays is when we go deeper on software and systems and the VAs and how we use them to make side money, extra money, and start businesses and help with the ILF. But tonight, I just want to introduce how we use our team. So Tara is my executive administrator. The VAs that we use, guys, come from va101.co. I'm going to type that into the chat, va101.co, not .com. And these VAs start at $5 an hour. So I tell people, remember earlier, the cheat code to life and business is God first, virtual assistants next, software and systems, and assessments. The assessments just mean, again, that we're getting the right people. Now, again, back to Tara. Tara's my executive. Tara's over all my staff, meaning all the VAs. She's over all 8 businesses that me and my wife have. She's the boss. Simply that, just that simple. Tara's my right hand. So nothing we do that just doesn't go past Tara. Tara's a genius. She can do 99% of stuff that I want done that I have no clue how to do. Tara's the boss. She runs everything that we do. Jess is my left hand. Jess is who I trained 17 months ago to become my assistant and my program manager at Second Chance Housing. So Jess is now me. So all my social workers and case managers, they know Jess. Jess lives in the Philippines. How crazy is that? Right? And again, for $5 an hour to answer your phones, do your social media on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, to answer all your phone calls, set up all of your appointments, build relationships in the community, and they come trained already because we give them to you trained. So Jess is now, I'll admit, out of all of my VAs, even though Tara's the boss, I talk to Jess every day. Jess runs Second Chance Housing. Jess runs my calendar along with Tara. But remember, guys, I got Tara involved in so much stuff that a lot of things for me is just delegated to Tara, and she hands it down to my team. So again, Tara, executive administrator, right? But Jess is my left hand, whereas Tara's my right hand. Alex is over our digital marketing company. So with the coaching package, the ILF Mastery Blueprint that we give you all, Alex is going to build your website. Alex is going to build your logo. So I often tell people and jokingly tell people, how crazy is it that I can have a digital marketing company and I can barely turn my computer on? So guys, I'm not very techy. I'm not very None of that stuff. I ain't good at social media, none of that. But I don't need to be when we're leveraging somebody else's skill set at $5 an hour. Danish is our developer from Pakistan, right? Alex is from Nigeria. So notice nobody that works for us works in the US because we couldn't afford it. Guys, Tara, my executive administrator, Tara will cost me $250,000 a year for what I have her doing. Guys, I can't afford that. I'm a small business owner. Danish is a developer. He would cost me 150K a year. Can't afford that. But because of Danish, we're able to develop software systems, websites, automations, all the things that we need. April is a part of multiple businesses that we run. April's in charge of all the social media. Every YouTube clip you've ever seen of me, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, April's in charge of all of that. So she's our social media specialist because I ain't real good at it. So again, ladies and gentlemen, and Hannah, again, works for multiple people for us. Remember I told you about you can take these VAs and start a business? Every one of you can go through your cell phone right now and find 10 people that need social media management, logos, websites, ebooks written for you. I can name 1,000 things that a VA can do, and now you can charge other people. So we take one VA like Hannah, we pay Hannah $5 an hour, 8 hours a day. There's a 6-hour minimum, and we can talk about that tomorrow on Tuesday. But now can you imagine that Hannah now works for 6 of your friends, and you charge them all $400, $600, $900 a month? That's what a lot of our people do that get our VAs. So don't be selfish. When you get your own VA, use these VAs to make side income. Prime example, if you're new to us, you have no clue what the HRA is. The HRA is called the Housing Referral Agency. That allows you guys to do exactly what we do, and you don't need a house. You don't have to rent it, buy it, or lease it. You can make referrals to other people. And guess what? Jess does this all day for me because now Jess runs Second Chance Housing. Does that make sense, everybody? Because I think I do a good job of making sure people don't get lost. But if you lost, let me know. Jess last week made 3 referrals that were successful. That's $900 that we made that I call side money because we took somebody from homeless to hopeful that was not a good fit for us. So if you're new, watch this. That means Jess answered the phone at Second Chance House and said, hello. She did an assessment on some guy that wasn't a good fit for us for whatever reason. But Jess called you, Simonia. Jess called you, Miss Teal. Jess called you, Mr. Frank, and said, hey, Mr. Frank, I got this great guy. You know, he's 45 years old. His medications are this, and he's this and this and this. Here's his phone number. And if he's a good fit, let us know. Because our referral fee is $300. Guys, Jess did that, actually multiple times last week because there's a lot of that happens, but 3 were successful. Now, we charge $300 per referral. My coaching plan tells you, you charge whatever you want to. You can charge the whole first month rent. You can charge $100, $300. That's up to you. The point is this. Years ago, when I brought this concept out, you had to have a house to make it work. How can you house the homeless if you don't have a house? But when God said, Derek, what about the people that want to do this and they don't have no house? They can't buy it or rent it. God reminded me years ago of a housing referral agency that called me for a referral. I took the guy in, didn't read the contract, dummy Derek. And when I moved the guy in, the guy sent me an invoice for like $400. Not only the first month, but the second month. I was like, wait a minute. And guys, I'll admit, I got upset because dummy me, I didn't read the contract. The contract states, if we find you a client that you would have never knew about, and he move in and pay your rent, send us our money. God, that's exactly what the HRA is. So God brought that back to my memory as I was building this business and this coaching model. Because golly, Derek, there's a bunch of people that want to do this, bro. But Derek, everybody can't buy no house, lease one, or rent one. Derek, I remind you of the gentleman that gave you a referral that day, and when you got mad at him, you was ready to fight him. Derek, teach people that model. So whether you knew it or not, guys, that's a whole business model. I work with a lot of companies today that's all they do. They don't want real estate. They don't buy real estate. All they do is build relationships. Remember, I told y'all I'm going to put this on a t-shirt. Sometimes it's not about the real estate. It's about the relationship. The house that my wife and I just bought, fixed and flipped and rehabbed it, and it's worth a bunch of money, way more than what we paid for it. Guys, it wasn't because we're so great and that we're real estate gurus. I'd be lying to you if I told you that. It was because of relationship, of somebody that was in a pinch, wasn't hurting for no money per se, but wanted to get rid of the house. Guys, it fell in our lap per se. And we had to work and grind through it to get it. But guys, it was about the relationship. So if you've never seen our HRA, follow the instruction below. Because if you just text more info to 407-326-0086, you will immediately, because of my VAs set it up that way, you're going to get a text message of the webinars that you're to watch for free and get a call with me for free. And now we can talk about how can we get you started. But back to the point, many years ago, you had to have a house to make this work. Now today, if you got a cell phone and an internet connection and the willingness to run your mouth and tell people you provide housing, you can start this tomorrow. And I tell the story about Letitia Warren all the time. She was the first person that implemented this. I taught this on a Monday night, way back on Clubhouse. Tuesday, she did it. We moved in and got Wednesday. I zelled her so fast, she couldn't believe it. Cried like a baby. She said, Derek, you don't know this, but my car note was due today. God, she literally just listened to what I said. Because again, if you take my class or my course or anything that I ever do, the first step is turn yourself into a business. Forget about Derek Forston, meaning my name. I removed Derek. So remove you and start a business. Now, dummy me, years ago, I started something that was called Second Chance Housing. Now, what I know today, my coaching tells you don't put nothing in your name that says housing or real estate. Nothing that's leaning towards real estate. That's some free coaching right now. Ended with solutions, enterprise, consultants, group, or just something generic like Amazon. Amazon says nothing about packages and shipping stuff, right? They were smart. So don't use names that have the word real estate or anything to do with real estate. Knowing what I know today, I should have been Second Chance Solutions, Second Chance Enterprise. Now, thank God that I've been around so long, to me, it don't matter now. And watch this. That only matters at the bank. The social worker don't care what your name is. At the bank, when you try to go get the bag, business lines of credit, business credit cards, your name, your NACE code can literally mess you up. So you want to be careful with that. So just real quick again, I know it's supposed to be fast on this, right? Alex is part of our digital marketing team. Without Alex, I can't have a digital marketing company. Remember, I'm not techie. I can barely turn my computer on. Danish, our VA, he's a developer. He can do everything, right? April is control of all of the social media. Why do you think that we post every day, 2 or 3 times a day? Everywhere. Half of y'all are here because you saw me on YouTube somewhere, on Instagram, on Facebook, right? Hannah is what I told you guys about earlier. Find 10 people in your phone that need other services, guys. If you missed our AI book writing workshop last week, that was a no-brainer. We taught you guys how to write a book and complete the book in 1 day. And I taught you how to use a VA to do it, to write it, publish it, and list it on somewhere to sell it for $37. If you missed that replay and you want it, let me know about that. Latrell is the whole reason why my wife is posing with a $10,000 grant check. Shay didn't write the grant. She didn't know how to write the grant, but the VA did. At $5 an hour, y'all, that's the cheat code again. I keep telling y'all, God first, virtual assistants, software and systems, and the assessment to make sure that we're getting the right client. And again, because of Latrell, we get grants. And the latest one was a $10,000 grant. Can you imagine getting a $10,000 grant that God gets the credit for, but a $5 an hour virtual assistant that works part-time for us got this? While Shay was running her big mouth somewhere, probably teaching this to somebody else. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Are you somebody that needs some help in your life or your business? Are you somebody that has a lot of ideas, but you can't quite get them out? You probably need a virtual assistant, guys. And again, at $5 an hour, that's an absolute cheat code for you, your life, your family, and your business. Because oftentimes these virtual assistants, guys, can do a lot of what we can't. And they often come with a bachelor or a master's degree. So when it comes to the educational side of it, guys, these VAs are, again, the cheat code to everything that you're probably looking for. Most of you guys have a full-time job, so it's hard to kind of implement a lot of the ideas that God has given you or the ideas that are in your heart. You should be visiting va101.co to get a virtual assistant that can help you in your life and your business and get some of these ideas out of your brain onto paper and then to implementation. One more time, visit va101.co, not .com, but va101.co, and get a virtual assistant, guys, for $5 an hour. It's the cheat code, and it'll be the best decision that you ever made. I promise. All right, let's go. Let's go. And again, thank y'all so much for being here. I super appreciate it. Thank y'all for allowing me to pour into your life. And if I hope that I've said something tonight that you guys truly enjoy, at least turn the light bulb on for some people, right? If I can get 5 people to say yes to that, that we at least turn the light bulb on. Because again, if you were anything like me over 8 years ago, I dreamed to do something like this, y'all. I just thought that I had to have a license. I thought I had to own the property. I thought I had to have a $30,000 sprinkler system. But God, as they say, right? God showed me a lady that was making $41,000 a month doing this, but she was housing people in rats and roaches. So I promised God that if he gave it to me, that I'd make sure I'll go all over the world as far as he would let me travel to teach it, and I would never take any credit. So that's what I do every night that I come on. I make sure I tell you guys that I'm no genius. I never been the smartest guy in the classroom. It's just that when God blew on this thing, guys, he makes it look genius. And if you know anything about real estate, this is also a no-brainer because, guys, no matter where you live at, it's expensive, right? And remember when I told you, when I first started this, it was only the mental health guy, the schizophrenic, the bipolar, because I love that stuff. Now, if you don't got a heart for that and you don't know what you're doing, you stay away from that. But my favorite, population to serve is the elderly adult, because they're not looking for a party. They're not trying to find the next greatest drug to try. They're not trying to sneak girls through my window. So they just want a quiet place to live. So again, for the Lenore family, you guys were asking, like, why are we so needed? Why is the need so great? I talk about this all the time. That's how I can tell that you guys are new to us, and that's fine. But guys, it's expensive. Google right now your city what a 1-bedroom apartment goes for. And they want you to make 3 times the regular rental rate. Who makes that nowadays? Nobody. The military veteran, the guy that served your country, but he hit a stumbling block. Guys, these are the people that we're serving now. And I also like to call it the everyday Joe. So for the Lenore family, you guys said that you were out of South Carolina. Watch this real quick and let's come right back.
To a 2022 report, an estimated 359 veterans across our state face homelessness.
Transitions Homeless Shelter is opening a new dorm to help get some of those veterans off the streets. News 19's Becky Buds reports.
2 months ago, Navy veteran Zachariah Shaheed found himself without a place to live before Transitions Homeless Center took him in.
Concrete is not somewhere anyone wants to be.
Shaheed was one of the 359 veterans across South Carolina facing homelessness, according to the latest National Point-in-Time Homeless Report.
I'm just thankful and grateful that I've become one that's not of that statistic now.
A new dorm at Transitions aims to bring that number down in Columbia.
28 more beds, 28 more options. That's going to help put a dent in the problem.
CEO Craig Curry says the program is providing 2 case managers, mental health services, food, addiction services, and more to each veteran. Each veteran will be able to stay for around 3 months.
In the end, you really want to place people into permanent housing, which is the name of the game.
Curry says they've already filled half the beds and expect to be at capacity soon. He adds it's being paid for under a Department of Veteran Affairs funded program.
We've had a population of homeless veterans here always, but now with these new contract beds, we'll be able to better care for them.
Next week, Shaheed is moving into his own place, thanks to a VA subsidized housing program.
I have some pretty good irons in the fire going for myself here, and I'm glad that Transitions was a part of it.
Reporting in Columbia, Becky Buds, News 19 WLTX.
Wow. Could you guys hear that? Put a number 9 in the chat if your heart is kind of geared towards housing the military veteran. And I'm going to give that a second. But for the Lenore family, right? You guys are just like Katara. You're in South Carolina. Why wouldn't you want to house a guy like Shaheed? Because a lot of people, when they say, well, Derek, I thought you was housing crazy people. Derek, I thought you was, no. Remember what the ILF stands for, ladies and gentlemen. Independent living facility. They must be independent, guys. And again, I jokingly say this, but I'm serious. That means he can cook his own bologna sandwich. He can provide his own transportation. And most importantly, guys, he can take his own medication without the need for a nurse, a CNA, or a doctor. Because, guys, I'm none of that stuff. I tell you all the time, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a CNA, I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, and I'm no bishop. We just happen to love God, love people, and love real estate. And if God has put on your heart to house people, man, what are you waiting for? I already told you, man, arrogance means guys, hold on, I'm going to bring this up real quick. Don't be arrogant. Remember that saying earlier? Procrastination, guys, is an arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do, right? So, and again, don't raise your hand because we did that earlier. But again, procrastination is also the silent killer, in my opinion, of all dreams. I'm going to put that on the t-shirt. Procrastination is the silent killer of all dreams. Procrastination is also the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. And just to brighten things up real quick, this is something that you guys can get into. And this is for my new people. The Lenore family, you guys also asked about it. Well, can I add other stuff to it? Well, sir, first of all, to be honest with you, the way I teach it, I want you to master the art of housing. Once we master you housing people, we can add stuff on the side, but we're usually going to even add that through partnership. Now, don't forget, y'all, I'm getting ready to close in about probably 6 to 8 more minutes. You guys meet me at the ILF Academy. In fact, I'm going to even take any questions over there. I want to point to you guys over there. But this is what you can do, Lenore family, once you kind of get into it and you mastered the art of housing. This is when we've now connected with other third-party people that want to render services to your program. So whether you nonprofit or not, can you imagine giving women a spa day that have never got their hair done, nails done, makeup, spoken into their life positively? So we brought in Flowing with Harmony. Now, y'all know I had to get me a massage too. Y'all, Miss Cherie, you thought I wasn't going to get a massage that day? Tanika, you thought I wasn't going to get in there? So, but can you imagine every one of you that say, man, I never had a massage before. I never had a makeup session before. I never had anybody speak into my life before like that. This is the good that you can do once you master the art of housing. But we're not going to do any of this stuff before we master the art of housing, people. But just to answer your question, I got a slide for everything. You can't ask me nothing in this game I don't have a slide for. So you asked us, what can you add to it? We like to add things like this. I like to bring in a barber to give my guys haircuts. A lot of the guys that I house, man, they quite frankly come from the street, you guys. They come from bad situations. They ain't seen a haircut or a barber in a year or 2 or 3 sometimes. How great is it that your ILF model can partner with somebody else to render services? Because remember, if you know anything about our coaching, I want you guys to master the art of housing people. We can add that other stuff later. And then again, when you tie that virtual assistant into a lot of this, because watch this, and I'm getting ready to close, like those Baptist preachers say, I'm getting ready to close, y'all. When most of y'all have a 9-to-5 job, it's hard to figure things out of how you're going to get things done. The social media, the website, all of this stuff. That's why you got to get the VA, guys. And because I'm such a great coach and I understand that you need it, I give it to you for free. So inside of our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, I give you the virtual assistant. I give you every course, every curriculum, and you still get me as the one-on-one coach. But what do you do when you at your 9-to-5 job and people keep calling that phone? You're going to get in trouble at your job. That's why we put the virtual assistant in it. So again, I don't care if you got a bakery shop, you sell fried chicken out your back window of your house. Every one of you guys need a website. This is 2024. If you don't have a website, you don't exist. That's most of y'all problems, of meaning the people that are calling and say, well, Derek, I'm doing all of this stuff and I can't get nobody to call me back. I usually ask people the first 3 questions, Mr. Gene. Do you have a website? Are you on social media, meaning Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram? No. Well, what are we doing? Because even when you call places or you're trying to set up appointments, guess what they do as soon as you hang that phone up? They go research you. Are you real? And in 2024, ladies and gentlemen, without a website, again, you don't exist. Let's get a word, man, real quick from David and Dennis, and we'll be right back. David.
Hey, David, did you know that you can start your own housing program and it doesn't require you for you to own the property and you do not need a license? So how in the world would you do that? I was always told that you had to own the property and that there was always some kind of special license that you had to get from your city to do this. People always told me that there was lots of red tape to jump through. So you mean to tell me that these are also not group homes? It's actually simple. They're called independent living facilities, and Forston Consultants actually created it. They hold the trademark for it. So I follow them religiously on Instagram at Forston Consultants as well as Facebook. And every Monday night at 6 p.m., they actually go live on YouTube at Forston Consultants, and I follow them there as well. So you mean to tell me my dream of becoming this housing provider that I've always dreamt of is closer than I realize? And again, you're telling me I don't need a license and I don't have to own the property. Absolutely. You do not have to own the property. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a CNA, and you can get started as soon as tomorrow. Click the link below for more information.
So much for being here again. We super appreciate it. And again, if you haven't text the phrase more info to that phone number that's scrolling below, go ahead and scan that QR code. That's the first step. You can quit your job. Excuse me, guys. I hate to use the word quit. I know it's up there. You can resign from your job, guys, in 30 days after watching this webinar if you truly are ready to get started, right? In fact, just put in the chat right now, especially my new people. If you're ready to get started, somebody type the word ready. If you're ready to get started with our coaching and just ultimately get into the game of housing people and starting your own ministry, right? Type in the chat ready. I would just love to see who that is. I got a few more things that I want to show, and then I'm going to get out of here. When should I start advertising? That's going to be for a second thing. I don't want y'all to forget that procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for things that he's already asked you to do. So guys, don't be arrogant. Like, how crazy is that you could actually be arrogant with God, right? Don't want to do that. So what I want to do right here, guys, is I want to spend at least, I'll say the last few minutes answering maybe one or two questions, but everything else I'm going to take to the ILF Academy. I want to pour into you guys there for a minute. That's a special group to me, brand new to us. I've never had a free Facebook group. We started that probably less than 90 days ago. So there's around probably 300 people in it. It's growing about 10 to 15 people a day. So I want to make sure that I'm pouring into you all. There's also this crazy deal and sale thing that's kind of going on that you all may not know about. That gets told about in the ILF Academy, and my team is still looking for 4 people for that special thing that we talked about. So again, if you haven't joined the free Facebook group, do that, because I'm going live there next. And I've never went live twice back to back on different forums. Tonight will be the first time. So definitely join me in the ILF Academy tonight, which will probably be in less than 30 minutes. So I see one question already. Let's jump in. Tanika says she's ready. Good stuff. Mr. Charles says, question, is the business nonprofit and tax exempt from tax obligation? That's a great question. So you can do that 2 ways, actually. So I'm for profit. My wife is nonprofit. That's another great thing that people like to kind of learn from us, is that because whether you want to be for-profit LLC or nonprofit, we got both. So my wife does this from the Angela Denise Foundation. You can check them out on Instagram and Facebook. And I do it from the standpoint of Second Chance Housing LLC. So Mr. Charles, it's a personal preference to you, actually. There's some benefits to being nonprofit. There's some things that I don't like about nonprofit. And if you just want to hear my little soapbox, is that I don't like the fact that I got to build a board, have meetings, have people control the money. As a nonprofit, I really don't own it. It's owned by the community. You just run it. It's weird, but I have one because I'm married to a lady that wanted one. No problem. That was a birthday gift, actually. So Shay's nonprofit was a birthday gift and babe, you can quit your job kind of gift from me. So, and Shay thought it was genius to get it, because when we knew Shay was ready to leave her job, I said, babe, I need your help. She said, well, what am I going to do? I said, well, you're going to house these women now. She said, well, what am I going to call it? I said, well, I don't know. She said, well, why don't I get a nonprofit, dear? Because you already got an LLC. Now, I'll admit, because we're just so honest, we had no idea that was going to be genius today. We just knew, or Shay just thought it was just a good idea that we have both. She was like, why should I get an LLC and you have one? I was like, oh no. But today we found out that that's genius. So oftentimes when people say, well, Derek, I want a nonprofit. Depending on how you're set up and how much time you have, we may still encourage you to start an LLC as you're building the nonprofit. So there's some free coaching. Because again, the LLC is quick, it's fast, right? In fact, we've partnered with Busy. They used to be called InkFile. So I'll be dropping that link probably starting tomorrow. I have links to all of their stuff now. And if you guys get it, no extra cost to you, but they will pay me a little something. I have to mention that. But we've partnered with Busy, Bizee. But yeah, nonprofit or LLC, completely up to you. And then there's some point where some people decide to go S corp once you start making a certain amount of money. So, and again, I don't want to get super deep into that. At our full price coaching, my personal accountant and business accountant is actually involved in it. So our package for our coaching, my accountant is not involved in it anymore like she used to be. But for the full price of our coaching, Lynette is actually involved inside of it. So she handles all of your QuickBooks, your setup, LLC, nonprofit, and she hangs around for about 90 to 120 days. So great question there. My name, the name of my business is Instinctive Pearl Living. So should I change living to consultants? Living isn't bad as real estate or other things of that nature. Now, I'll admit, I'll put it to you like this. If you don't mind changing it and it's not a headache to you to do it, I'd absolutely get rid of the word living. Okay? Because again, some banker that you're sitting across from, when you tell them what you do, and if you don't know what NACE code to give them, which is a consulting code, that's a more free coaching that I'll give you. We don't use anything to do with in terms of real estate, guys, right? So I consult in real estate. I'm not in real estate. There's a difference. And if you catch what I'm saying there, you catch it. But I am a consultant of real estate. I give people advice every day on real estate, on housing. But I am not in the game of real estate. Read between the lines, right? And if you're not careful with that banker that you're sitting across from, they're going to label you as that. So solutions, enterprise, group, consulting, consultants. I can give 4 or 5 or more, but just for now, that's good. Most people now do either enterprise or solutions. Okay. Great questions too. I love it. Let's see another question. Let's see. Another one from North Carolina. I love it. I don't know what's going on in North Carolina and South Carolina, but you guys are finding us like crazy. I'm not sure if it's like from these other groups, but I love it. Welcome all. I love it. We have people in family actually in Charlotte. My question is setting up my LLC for independent living, shared home, finding a property, receiving referrals. I live in Winston-Salem area of North Carolina. Most rental properties are around 1,200. Perfect. See, you in that sweet spot. You are what I call, Miss Tanika, that 1 or 2 clients, 2 clients for you are going to cover all your rent. 3 clients cover everything for you. Right? I'll give you some free coaching right now, right? No matter if you get a 3-bed or a 4-bed home, when you get 3 clients with prices like that, 3 clients covers all of your overhead, bills, lights, water, Wi-Fi. So from your 4th client downhill, it's all profit for you. Okay? That free Facebook group is called the ILF Academy. In fact, I'm going to just drop it in the thing. ILF Academy. And that's usually for my newer people. I got a lot of people that we do coach already that are in it. They're going to probably be there more so for support and help me answer questions. But I'll admit, the ILF Academy is for like really new people that you have no clue what this is. And you're like, oh my God, this guy talking about housing people, multiple people with no license and no how. Like, I love new people. And again, because we're doing this crazy kind of crazy deal thing, I cater that to my family at the ILF Academy. So we announced it last week for 10 people. I think we got 6. So if I'm not mistaken, my team gonna kill me if I get this wrong, but we're looking for at least 4 or 5 more people for that special deal. But for the Lenore family that asked about, can you guys still split it? Absolutely. We've done that for like the last 2 months now. We understand that times are tough, things are crazy, and we're just cognizant of things like that, right? We're good coaches and we understand. Again, times are tough. And we don't want the price of coaching to stop anything. So we also offer financing. We have coaching financing, third-party financing, in-house financing. So we make it really easy, guys. Our original coaching is 15 grand, right? But I'll admit, everybody just about gets the scholarship for the 7,500. But here lately, what we've been doing for like the last 60 days, we've been allowing people to join together and split it in half. So if you text the word half, HALF, to 407-326-0086, and it's the same number at the bottom, my team will send you an invoice for $37.50. And now you only pay that. And that, I'll explain it. We need 2 people to make it happen, though. So meaning like right now, I have somebody that's already done it. I need somebody else to make that 7,500 and we'll learn it together. I only do that to help you guys with cost. So again, that way I still get 7,500, you still get the coaching, but I'm allowing you guys to get it for $37.50. Now, if that confused you, join me in the ILF Academy, but essentially our one-on-one coaching with all of that stuff that comes with it, guys, you don't pay the 15 grand or the 7,500. You pay the $37.50. And a lot of people here lately, they've been meeting people in here in our live YouTube channel and joining together. So I'm going to go over that real quick and then I'm going to get out of here, right? ILF Academy, guys, in less than 15 minutes. So the ILF Mastery Blueprint, in fact, before I do that, I want to do this real quick. Hold on, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to get straight to it. So the ILF Academy, guys, is our one-on-one coaching. We call it our life coaching for life. Our contract that you'll get does have a time frame in it, but as long as you're actively working it, we got people that we've been coaching for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and they're still around us. The only difference is that we're teaching them new businesses now. Because once you master this, I want to teach you other stuff. And that's the cool part about our coaching, because our business coaching comes for free inside of this package. So everything that I'm getting ready to show you guys is inside of our coaching. The biggest highlights is your CRM system, your website, the virtual assistant, and the one-on-one coaching, and every document that you need. That's the highlights. One more time, the highlights of this package, in case if you forget it all, is, of course, the one-on-one coaching is for life. You're only paying $37.50. You get all the documents that you need to run it, all the paperwork. The lease, all of that stuff comes from us. Handbook, everything. You also get a virtual assistant, all the SOPs, and again, the paperwork, and most importantly, your CRM system, your website, your build out. Because remember, I own the digital marketing company. So my team builds that for you. I own the staffing agency in the Philippines. So we give you a virtual assistant. You're just responsible for the $5 an hour. So let's go. Your logo, my team builds it with your instruction. Your website design, my team builds it with your instruction. The one-on-one coaching for the best around town, me and my wife and my entire family. Nobody better to learn this from, guys, than us. I was a social worker, and now I'm on this side. I've been through $40,000 lawsuits and the Channel 8 News. I've done this wrong, guys, for a long time before we got it down to a science. So who else you want to learn it from? Remember, I told you, every ebook, every curriculum, you get it. Even the newest book that's not up here right now, that was called the ILF Fiasco, the 12 dumbest mistakes I ever made. You also get that one. So every ebook, every curriculum, every course. Remember the HRA I told you about? That's a whole business in a box by itself. Guys, it comes in this package. So remember, you don't need a house to do this. You need the willingness to run your mouth and use your cell phone and tell people every day that you provide housing. So the SOPs for the HRA, the phone scripts, the email scripts, the email templates. Most importantly, we give you the virtual assistant. We also give you the pursuit of purpose and profit. Meaning, Derek, how in the world are you renting these houses, Derek? What are you saying to these people, Derek, to rent their house and put all them people in it? Now, I'll admit, guys, years ago, we never shared that unless you had the coaching. You can get that book by itself and the role play for $97. But in this coaching, not only am I going to teach you how to do it, I still give you the curriculum. So guys, don't forget, I'll be in your back pocket. I'm your coach. I'm your brother now. We're family. But I still give you all the material so that you can still have it. So how to acquire that property, the live role play, even though I don't want you giving out medications, I still want you to know about them. So all the most commonly used meds, I give it to you. And don't forget the virtual assistant from VA 101. Because we own the virtual assistant staffing agency, I give you the VA for free, guys. You don't even pay for it. So you get your own assistant now for free. You just pay the $5 an hour with the minimum of 6 hours a day. Any questions, join me at the ILF Academy in less than 8 minutes. And guys, every community that we have, that we built, that we want you to be a part of, we put you in it. So these are all VIP communities. So again, guys, our coaching is absolutely unbeatable. If you think you enjoyed tonight and you thought this was deep, there is nothing like me coaching you one-on-one according to where you live at. It's one thing to coach you in general, but once I get your zip code and we find out where you live at, and more than likely for most of y'all, I'm gonna have somebody already in your area. Because again, through the greatness of God, we're in 34 states now, right? So it's not a lot of places that we're not. So we're in 34 states, and I oversee now over 380 ILFs through the coaching of this. Now, don't get it twisted, guys. I have a handful of these now, ILFs, but I oversee 34 states and over 380 ILFs, and I'm super proud of that. I take no credit whatsoever. God is good. And again, one more time before we go, big shout out to Nicole from New York, just got her 4-bedroom house. Big shout out to Aklina in Orlando, just got a 4-bedroom house. Big shout out to Miss Rita in Kissimmee, 4-bedroom house. All these are leases except for Nicole. Big shout out to Miss Pierre, 7-bedroom house. Big congratulations to her. Wow. And it's one more you guys did this week. And Lenore family, you guys have 3 rental properties that you're going to see tomorrow. So our prayers and thoughts are with you. And I want you guys to watch this really quick, and we'll be right back.
One Atlanta city councilman says the city's homeless population seems to have grown and become more aggressive. And he points to what he calls deplorable behavior at the world's busiest airport. Fox 5's Anjali Proctor takes a closer look at the problem and how the city council might handle it.
If you have been in downtown Atlanta near the connector or out at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport lately, you have likely seen that the homeless problem is growing. One Atlanta City Council person says it's time to address it.
What's going on in the airport is horrible. It is deplorable.
Atlanta City Councilman Michael Julian Bond says the world's busiest airport is dealing with a homeless problem that has gotten out of hand. Bond says business owners and travelers alike are being subjected to unimaginable circumstances.
How do you break into a bank, defecate, urinate, spend the night, and nobody knows that you've done it until people come back the next morning?
Councilman Bond believes one of the first ways to address the problem is to expand the PAD, or Policing Alternative and Diversion Initiative hours.
The busiest shift in public safety.
So again, guys, not to belabor the point at all, that's Atlanta, Georgia, guys, where people are now doing crazy stuff like you just heard the guy say. And now it's this whole movement, in case if you didn't know about it, where homeless people, guys, are sleeping at the airport now. I'll admit, I kind of didn't know that before I start playing that clip on our lives. And then what happens to me about a month and a half ago. Now, if you've been around us, you know it because I told the live story that I now brought in a gentleman that was sleeping in the Orlando airport, guys, for 2 months. How do you do that? Lucky for you, you have no clue how to do that. That means you have somewhere to live at night. But tell me, think about that. How do you go to the airport and sleep for 2 months, but still go to work every day? I explained to you guys that he had 2 jobs. One job actually fired him because they found out he was homeless. And again, if you have no clue how to sleep in the airport, God bless you, because that means you have somewhere to sleep at night. So again, I'm getting ready to leave here. I'll meet you guys at the ILF Academy. That's a free Facebook group. If you haven't joined it yet, definitely join it. It's a free Facebook group. It's called the ILF Academy. And again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, and if you always wonder, how can you start this housing program thing and it not be a group home? It not be an ALF to where you need a license and permission from your state. Guys, it's simply called the Independent Living Facility Model. And as I always tell you guys, don't even get caught up on the name. I don't care what you call this thing. Just remember you're housing independent adults. Because as long as you do that, you can call it shared living, co-living, communal living. You can put your name on it like I did, Second Chance. Forget the name of it. Just remember who we're housing. And remember, because we're housing people like that, we don't need a license because they cook their own food. They provide their own transportation, and they take their own medications. And remember, that's what gets most people in trouble. when they're trying to do this, because they're trying to offer services that they have no business doing. And if you came to our June event, we taught you how to offer all of these services third party without you doing it. So big shout out to Chrysalis Health that spoke at our June event that gave us another cheat code of how to be greater without risking what we do because of the population that we serve. Other than that, man, thank y'all so much. I super appreciate each and every one of you. We're live again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. I hope that you guys enjoyed the room. And again, one last thing is don't forget, please stay close by your emails and all of that good stuff. I do believe if I'm not mistaken, I don't have my notes in front of me, but I think the 13th is a Tuesday. That's going to be one of our first workshops that we've ever had for an ILF. Meaning, because again, we understand that times are tough for people that may not be able to afford the coaching or even this crazy sale thing that we're doing and handpicking certain people for. Even if that's not enough, I've already told you guys, ILF workshops are going to be anywhere from $97 to $197, and it probably will never go over that. So that's going to be a cheat code for a lot of people that want our coaching. And again, if you thought this was good, this is free information. You want to make sure you come to these workshops, guys. And we're going to have these it's going to be twice a month from now to December. And we're calling it kind of like our recession package, right? Because again, times are tough. I don't want the price of nothing we have to stop people. So again, if the coaching doesn't fit you, even at half of that $37.50, if that don't fit you, or that hand-picked special price for those other 4 people, no problem. You want to make sure that you're watching your email. Join me in the ILF Academy in 3 minutes. And those workshops are going to be super affordable, and they're going to be twice a month. So every 2 weeks, we're going to be doing it. That's something new. And I'm letting you guys kind of drive it and gear it in terms of what you want to know. So when you get into the ILF Academy today, you will see a post that I put out hours ago asking people, what do you want these workshops to be about? So we're going to be doing workshops, and then that last 15 to 30 minutes of the workshop, I'm going to do pick my brain. Meaning, well, Derek, I don't want to go to the workshop to learn about how to get clients. I want to know about da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, you still should come, because the last 30 minutes is pick my brain and ask me whatever. But what I'm going to do is stick strictly to the topic for all of these workshops. But that last 15 to 30, you can ask me whatever. So that's going to be the cheat code for a lot of people that, again, that maybe can't afford, or the personal coaching, the one-on-one is out of reach. And don't forget, we offer financing, because again, if you just text the word financing to that same number scrolling below, my team will send you something to be able to apply for the financing. Other than that, I'm out of here. I'm going to pray y'all out of here. And y'all, if you join me in the ILF Academy. But even when we're done there, pray to God tonight and say, God, I heard what that guy was talking about, and this is exactly what I want to do. And God, he says ministry. Because God, we love people, and we love real estate. And Derek said that we can merge all of that together. And God, I want to get in it. So I always tell people, get the proper permission. Tell God you want to serve his people. Remember, I told you over 30 minutes ago, the cheat code to any business is a business that A, keeps God first, and B, serves people. So you got to build something that will outlast you, that's bigger than you. I jokingly tell everybody, but I'm serious. God gonna take me off of this earth, y'all, at about 115 years old. I just kind of know it. But guys, year 116, when I'm gone, somebody should still be running Second Chance Housing and Forston Consultants. Because one, we house the people, and the other one, we teach it to other people to keep doing it. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm building a business and a ministry that'll outlast me. It better, right? So all of my descendants and kids and nieces and nephews and whoever is on that year 116, they got to take it over. Okay? So you guys be great. I'll see y'all here in about 3 minutes. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to the power that will work within us. Father God, thank you so much again for the opportunity tonight to speak into the lives of your people. God, thank you again for what you've done for me, and thank you that you will do it for them. And God, you know respect of a person, because what you did for me, you will do it for them. So God, today, allow the devil to be under their feet and have no place in their life, their business, or their family. And God, by your Holy Spirit, bring all of this information back to them so that they can move at the speed of instruction to do what you have already told them to do. And Father God, let no devil in hell stop it. The devil is a liar today. And God, we give you all glory, all honor, and all praise. And God, today we dedicate the house to you now. So God, before these people ever get the keys to their first facility, God, we dedicate it to you now. And I say thank you for allowing them to be the overseer over it. God, you are the CEO. You are the COO. And God, you are the accountant of this whole business. Thank you for allowing us to be the overseer over it. God, merge good people to our housing program. And God, like we always say, keep us away from the knucklehead. Keep us away from people that want to do us harm and not pay rent and squat and do drugs and alcohol. Because God, they need help too, but not in this environment. So God, bring us the people that are saying, God, I want a nice place to live. I want a clean environment. God, I want to change my life. And God, allow these people to be connected to that vision. Because God, we want to do what your will says, which is house the homeless, the needy, and the widow. And God, we want to do your will through real estate. So in Jesus' name, God, give us the mind of Christ and give us an able body to do your will. Because God, it's hard to do your will when we don't have an able body. So today, God, from the top of their heads to the soles of their feet, I call these people healed, delivered, and set free. And God, you will allow them to do your work through real estate. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all we can ever ask or think, according to God's power that worketh in us. Amen. Amen. If y'all believe that, say amen. And I'll see you guys in the ILF Academy in less than 10 minutes.